Hola and welcome to ProSpanish. We're going to get stuck in straight away so that you can experience firsthand just how quickly you can learn Spanish if you've got the right method and the right set of techniques. And if you're one of our more advanced subscribers, you may wish to skip forward to the time frame that comes up on the screen now, or of course stick with us for the extra practice. We're going to start with some verbs, and if you're not familiar with how ProSpanish works, it's important to note that you don't have to worry about remembering or memorizing these words, this vocabulary that we're going to be presenting now. Okay, so estudiar is to study, nice and easy. Estudiar, so estudiar, to study. We could say estudiar español, to study Spanish. It could be estudiar matemáticas. What do you think that would be? To study maths. To eat is comer. So comer, to eat. Comer, to eat. Hacer is to do. Hacer, to do. And finally, venir, to come. Venir, the V pronounced like a B. Venir, to come. And again, don't try to remember these. You don't need to. And we're going to focus on being able to ask questions. So obviously you can ask them, but also you'll be able to understand the questions coming to you as well. So let's start with quieres. Quieres means you want, but in a question it would be do you want. So quieres is do you want. Quieres, do you want. So quieres is do you want. What do you think it would be if we're using the other column to say do you want to study? What would that be? Do you want to study? ¿Quieres estudiar? ¿Quieres estudiar? Do you want to study? ¿Quieres estudiar? And if I ask the question, ¿Quieres estudiar español? What would that mean? Do you want to study Spanish? Okay, puedes. Puedes is can you. Can you. Puedes, can you. So far we've got do you want, quieres, and now can you, puedes, and finally vas a. Vas a is are you going to. If it wasn't a question, we would be able to say you are going to, vas a. But we're using questions, so it's going to be are you going to, vas a, vas a. So what would it mean if I said vas a estudiar español? Vas a estudiar español? What do you think that would mean? Are you going to study Spanish? Are you going to study Spanish? Okay, and we're going to move further along, and two question words. What is qué? What is qué? Qué? What? And a qué hora is at what time, or what time. Literally it's at what hour, at what hour, at what time. So qué is what, and a qué hora, what time or at what time. So looking at what, qué, how would you say, what do you want? Just two words, what do you want? What would that be? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres? So what do you want? And this can sometimes be used as what would you like as well. So ¿qué quieres? What do you want? What would you like? ¿Qué quieres? What about if I said ¿a qué hora puedes venir? What do you think that is? ¿A qué hora puedes venir? So the first three columns, what does that mean? What time can you come? What time can you come? Okay, let's add our final column. So today is hoy. Hoy, today. And tomorrow is mañana. Mañana, mañana, tomorrow, tomorrow. So hoy, today, mañana, tomorrow. So you've got, especially if you're a complete beginner, you've got quite a lot there, but you've got the English to support you. And as I mentioned before, you don't need to try to remember all this now. Bit by bit, you will assimilate it all. For this next phase, just listen to the sentence, repeat it a few times, and follow it across or along the grid, the table, and try to work out the meaning. Okay. ¿Qué quieres comer hoy? ¿Qué quieres comer hoy? ¿Qué quieres comer hoy? Meaning, what do you want, or what would you like to eat today? Next. ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? What time are you going to come tomorrow? What time are you going to come tomorrow? ¿Qué quieres hacer mañana? ¿Qué quieres hacer mañana? What do you want to do tomorrow? What do you want to do tomorrow? ¿Qué vas a comer mañana? ¿Qué vas a comer mañana? ¿Qué vas a comer mañana? What are you going to eat tomorrow? ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? What time can you come tomorrow? ¿Qué quieres estudiar hoy? ¿Qué quieres estudiar hoy? ¿Qué quieres estudiar hoy? What do you want to study today? What do you want to study today? Okay, next, listen to the sentence and decide whether the sentence is from A or B. From A or B. So, number one, the first one. ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? ¿A qué hora vas a venir mañana? So do you think that's from A or B? And it's B. What time are you going to come tomorrow? Don't worry if you didn't get it right. Okay, number two. ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? And that's B as well. What do you want to do? Hacer. What do you want to do today? Number three. ¿Qué vas a estudiar hoy? ¿Qué vas a estudiar hoy? ¿Qué vas a estudiar hoy? And that's A. What are you going to study today? Number four. ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? And that's B. What time can you come tomorrow? Venir mañana. And the final one. ¿A qué hora quieres comer hoy? ¿A qué hora quieres comer hoy? What time do you want to eat today? Comer. So that's A. ¿A qué hora quieres comer hoy? Okay, now we are going to work our way down these steps, making the sentence longer as we go, but each time repeating what's gone before. So, what? ¿Qué? ¿Qué? Next level down. What do you want? ¿Qué quieres? So, do you want quieres? What do you want? ¿Qué quieres? Next one down. So we're repeating what's above and adding a bit more. What? ¿Qué do you want? ¿Quieres? And adding on to do. Hacer. So, ¿qué quieres hacer? Next, on the final level down. What do you want to do today? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? Okay, let's go through that one again, but slightly faster. Okay, so we'll start at the top with what. And just a quick reminder, make sure that you pause the video if you need to give yourself some thinking time to construct the phrase or the word, whatever it might be. So we'll start off with what. So, ¿qué? Next level. ¿Qué quieres? Next level. ¿Qué quieres hacer? Final level. ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? And let's repeat that last level. ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? What do you want to do today? Okay, let's go on to the next one. So, what time? Remember, it's like at what hour. ¿A qué hora? Moving down. ¿A qué hora vas a? Next. ¿A qué hora vas a comer? Next. ¿A qué hora vas a comer hoy? And again. ¿A qué hora vas a comer hoy? ¿A qué hora vas a comer hoy? Okay, and the next one. What time? ¿A qué hora? Next. ¿A qué hora puedes? Next. ¿A qué hora puedes venir? Next. ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? Again. ¿A qué hora puedes venir mañana? And we'll just take a quick pause there while I mention our very popular Levels 1 to 6 course. This takes the complete beginner or a near beginner right up to a conversational level of Spanish in a series of very easy to follow steps. All the lessons on this YouTube channel are supplementary, whereas the core Levels 1 to 6 is very much a step-by-step program delivered by the same teacher as all the other videos on the ProSpanish YouTube channel. And while the style is very similar to what you'll be used to from these videos on the channel, the key difference is that every lesson carefully builds on the previous lessons so that you can really feel that progress of going from very little or no Spanish up to a level where you can confidently hold a conversation in Spanish. So again, that's available exclusively from prospanish.co.uk. And so back to the grid. If you're able to, then try to say the sentences or ask the questions looking away, but of course it's fine to look for a bit of extra support. Okay, so how would you say, what can you eat? Okay, what can you eat? Just 3 words. ¿Qué puedes comer? ¿Qué puedes comer? How would we say, what would you like to study, or what do you want to study? ¿Qué quieres estudiar? ¿Qué quieres estudiar? How about, what are you going to do today? ¿Qué vas a hacer hoy? ¿Qué vas a hacer hoy? What about, what are you going to study today? ¿Qué vas a estudiar hoy? ¿Qué vas a estudiar hoy? What about, what time are you going to come today? ¿A qué hora vas a venir hoy? ¿A qué hora vas a venir hoy? How about, what time do you want to come tomorrow? ¿A qué hora quieres venir mañana? ¿A qué hora quieres venir mañana? And of course, the great thing with this kind of system is that we can always add in more very easily. So we can add in, for example, to our time phrases, we've got hoy, mañana, today and tomorrow. We can add in tonight, esta noche. ¿A qué hora vas a venir esta noche? What time are you going to come tonight? In our verbs, we could add in comprar, comprar, to buy, comprar. ¿Qué vas a comprar? What are you going to buy? Or ¿qué quieres comprar? What would you like to buy? We could add in another question word. So, ¿dónde? ¿Dónde is where? ¿Dónde? We could say, ¿dónde quieres comer? ¿Dónde quieres comer? Where do you want to eat? Where do you want to eat? Let's add today. ¿Dónde quieres comer hoy? Where do you want to eat today? Where would you like to eat today? And before we move on to the more advanced part of this lesson, a quick reminder that you can download the full Levels 1 to 6 Pro-Spanish course from prospanish.co.uk. Okay, and on to the more advanced part. We're going to start with some what we call past participle verbs. So that's in English, that would be like eaten, seen, kind of verbs that you use, all the verb endings that you use with I have seen, I have eaten, or she has eaten, seen. So we'll start with suspendido. Suspendido is failed, as in I have failed my driving test or my exam. And the opposite is aprobado. Aprobado is passed, as in I've passed. And think of it looking a little bit like approved. So you pass something, you've been approved. Salido, gone out, can be left as well. So he has left, he has gone out. Terminado, finished. Llegado, arrived. Vuelto, come back or returned. And now we'll add a. A, he or she has. A. He or she has failed. Ha suspendido. Ha suspendido. He or she has died. Ha muerto. Ha muerto. And a bit further back, creo que. Creo que, I think that. I believe that, but we would say I think that. Creo que. Okay, we're going to make this a bit more interesting in a second, but let's just get familiar with this first. How would you say, I think that he's gone out? Creo que ha salido. Creo que ha salido. I think she's finished. Creo que ha terminado. Creo que ha terminado. And at this point, we need to add in I don't think. So I think that is creo que. What would it be for I don't think that? No creo que. No creo que. And how would we say I don't think that he's failed? What would that be? And I'll just interrupt you before you try to use what we have on our grid, because it's not enough. So what we can't do is we can't say I don't think that and ah. We can't say no creo que ah. And the reason is that when you say no creo que, when you say there isn't a belief that, then it's got to be followed by the subjunctive. So no creo que has to be followed by the subjunctive. So we need a subjunctive version of he or she has, of a. And it's easy, it's haya. Haya. H-A-Y-A. Haya. So when we've got no creo que, we have to use haya if we're trying to say I don't think he has done this thing. So how would we say I don't think he's failed? No creo que haya suspendido. No creo que haya suspendido. What would it be for I don't think she's come back? I don't think that she's returned. No creo que haya vuelto. No creo que haya vuelto. How about I think that he's arrived. Creo que ha llegado. Creo que ha llegado. So we were used in the affirmative, creo que. So we have to use the normal indicative, not the subjunctive. So creo que ha llegado. I think he's arrived. How about I don't think she's finished. No creo que haya terminado. No creo que haya terminado. How about I don't think that he's died. I don't think he's died. What would that be? No creo que haya muerto. No creo que haya muerto. And to make both of these plural, so if we want to say they, for both of them we just add an N. So an is they have, and hayan, they have, subjunctive. How would we say I don't think they've passed? What would that be? No creo que hayan aprobado. No creo que hayan aprobado. I don't think they've passed. I think they've failed. Creo que han suspendido. Creo que han suspendido. I don't think they've arrived. No creo que hayan llegado. No creo que hayan llegado. I don't think they've gone out. No creo que hayan salido. No creo que hayan salido. And that concludes today's ProSpanish lesson. As mentioned earlier, if you're looking to become a confident and a competent speaker of Spanish, then head over to prospanish.co.uk, where you can download the full Levels 1 to 6 course.